My family has been living off of the government for the past 4 years. My husband and I, neither one have had a job because we had children, and we decided we wanted to stay home with them and just soak in every moment. And so we haven't worked in 4 years, and my husband told me yesterday we can no longer go out to eat on Sundays because we have to put money aside because Donald Trump's taking our paycheck away because we get a government check once a month. And the more kids we have, the more money we get. So we've been having kids like nonstop for the past 4 years. We're up to 5 kids now. But anyway, I had to break that to my kids yesterday because they asked me why we weren't going out to eat. And I said, well, Donald Trump is a bad man and he was elected to be president and he's taking all our money away. And they started crying. And it just hit me that it was that simple for them to understand why Donald Trump would be a bad president. But there's grown people that voted for him. Donald Trump doesn't care about American citizens. If he did, my husband and I wouldn't have to be joining the workforce in January because he's taking our money away. My family has been living off of the government.
I'm 27 with 5 kids, pregnant with my 6th, living on government assistance.
The caption says 5-year plan. As a 27-year-old pregnant mom of 5 using government assistance for now. Of course, the thing that sticks out at you is mom of 5, but you're pregnant right now as well. Let's get into it.
Kids, pregnant with my 6th, living on government assistance, but I have a 5-year plan. Year 1, stop procrastinating and go back to school. Year 2, start earning consistent money off of social media. Year 3, finally get off of government assistance. Year 4, graduate from college. Lastly, year 5, officially own my own home. I've been telling myself since the beginning of this year that I'm going to go back to school and sign up for classes, but I just haven't yet. Honestly, I'm just really busy between working full-time, raising 5 kids, being pregnant, all my appointments, all my kids' appointments. But I know if I want a better life for me and my kids, this is something that I need to do. And honestly, it's something that I want to do for
No. See, hold on. I've been letting this slide too much, but he just keeps inserting himself in the freaking clip. So we got to address this right now. Right now. Who is this dude right here? Who is this? He looks more than able-bodied. He looks like he can do the work of 3 men by himself. Hold on. This ain't no little dude.
on my kids' appointments. But I know if I want a better life for me and my kids, this is something that I need to do.
Who is
And
this
honestly,
dude?
it's something that I want to do for myself because with doing
Buddy, you're not supposed to be home with her while she's with the kids doing all the admin tasks and cooking and cleaning. He don't even look like he fits in this. He just looks like he's in the way. There's a reason for that. You ain't supposed to be home right now. Why is she getting government assistance? So he just gets to be home, I guess, trying to help you out, which he looks like he's doing a poor job of. He looks like he's just in the way. But he just gets to be home with you. Ultimately, I guess his only job when he's home is just to be the breeder because you're pregnant again. So the only thing he's good for being home is just to have more kids, which then creates more of a drag on the system and on the assistance that you both ultimately need. But why do you need assistance when there is a full able-bodied man who looks like he has nothing but idle time to the point to where he doesn't even look like he knows what to do? He doesn't even look like he knows what to do. He's just in the kitchen lounging around, loitering, like he's at an establishment or something. You know when people just loiter outside and they standing around and they don't got nothing to do? He's doing that in the house, which is an indication that you need to get to work. You can't make this up.
5 kids, being pregnant, all my appointments, all my kids' appointments. But I know if I want a better life for me and my kids, this is something that I need to do. And honestly, it's something that I want to do for myself because with doing this leads to more financial stability. I just know it's going to take a lot of energy out of me, a lot of time and effort, which I put all that into my kids and work already. But I feel like once I stop procrastinating and actually go and another thing that I want to see grow within the next 2 years is my platform. I want to eventually get paid for the content that I put out there.
My platform. So is this your plan? I know she said go back to school. Go back to school for what? If you ask me, you going back to school, that's just more time that you're going to need assistance to float you by while you're in school. At least what? 2, 3, 4 years? No, y'all just need to work. And the most proactive thing that y'all can do is stop having kids right now. That's the most proactive thing you could do. But sadly, I feel like we're too late because she said she already has 5. And with the one in her stomach, that's going to make number 6. So, sure, you really shouldn't make it any worse. But once you get past 5, I mean, it just is what it is. You might as well have 10. At that point, you got 6. What's the difference? It's chaos either way you want to slice it or dice it. Y'all, before we get back into it, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. It only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And it's only a click. It's really that easy. If you're watching anyway, you might as well just click the like button. And also, if you could hype.
I want to see grow within the next 2 years as my platform. I want to eventually get paid for the content that I put out there, but it also be at a rate where it's very consistent. And I'm not going to lie, as much as I like my food stamps, I would love to be in a position where I no longer need them or any type of government assistance. Once I graduate from school and I'm receiving paychecks from my social media account.
Look at this dude, man. So the only thing I done seen him do to help her out, he's the designated juice shaker. Do you see this dude?
Or any type of government assistance. Once I graduate from school and I'm receiving food stamps, I would love to be in a position where I no longer need them or any type of government assistance. Once I graduate from school and I'm receiving paychecks from my social media accounts.
Brother, she needs you there just to shake the juice. That's the only thing I done seen him do in this whole clip to help. Bro, nah, they need to give you a shovel or something or a sledgehammer. And you need to go to
where
work.
I no longer need them or any type of government assistance. Once I graduate from school and I'm receiving paychecks from my social media accounts as well as my full-time job, the next step is to get me and my kids our dream home.
Are we seeing a pattern here? People that are on government assistance requiring food stamps, requiring probably Section 8 housing, requiring all of these things that other people are paying for, yet you just keep popping out children. If you can't take care of the first 3 or 4 or 5, why are we having 6 and 7 and 8 and 9? It's just a recurring theme that we keep seeing over and over and over in a lot of these families in these situations. And I, for one, I'm fed up with it.
I'm 20.
This is how much we've lost sight of reality today. Here's how bad we've lost sight of reality. We've lost sight of reality so bad to the point to where, did you know what he just said is considered controversial by many? What he said is considered controversial today. And if you really look back and if you really think about it, stating the hard truth, the uncomfortable truth, has always been controversial. And actually, I would argue there were periods in time where it really could have actually got you unalived. But it's the truth. It's controversial today to say, you're on government assistance. Why do you keep having kids that you can't take care of when you already had some and you were on the program, which symbolized that you were in poverty? So how are you having more? Where are you finding the time? Why do you think that that's okay? Why do you even think that that's ethical for you to be getting taken care of? And then you have more kids. Imagine somebody lets you come stay with them. Imagine somebody opens up their home to you and your 2 kids, and they let you come stay with them. And they say, listen, I trust you. I love you. You can stay here as long as you need to get on your feet. And then the thing that you do to show them that you appreciate the opportunity is every time they look, you're getting pregnant. And you're getting pregnant in their house. And so you continue to add more people that are ultimately occupying that house and occupying their space to the point to where they have to say, well, look, I said I'd help, but I can't help you more than you're willing to help yourself. And this is what these people are doing with these programs. They're occupying space on these programs, and they're digging in their hole much deeper to where they have to not only occupy the space and take up more space over time, but time. They're also occupying time on the program, which then doesn't open up another spot, another slot for another person to be able to come in and get it who actually does plan on using it in a moral way and does plan on using it in order to better their situation and never have to use it again. You see people occupying it with the intent to stay on it and to use it for a very long time. And the best thing that they can tell you that they plan to do in order to get off of it is try to become a TikTok creator.
I have 2 jobs. I post about that.
She's replying to a comment where someone told her to get a job. I'm tired of you living off government assistance.
I have 2 jobs. I post about that all the time. I keep 2 jobs because I don't like to be bored. Yet, even though I have 2 jobs, I still have time to come on here and make y'all mad. Because I'm smarter than you. So I can do, with the 24 hours I get in my day, I can get a lot more done than you can.
It's not that I don't think taxes should go to families that need it. I think we need reform of the programs in which tax dollars are allocated to help families. For instance, Section 8. Section 8 is a great leg up for some families, right? Section 8 should not be able to be passed down to your kids and they pass it down to their kids.
For sure.
That promotes you staying exactly where you are because the deterrent is if you make too much, you're going to have to pay this high ass rent that everybody else is paying.
Yeah.
So you need to stay below this level. You need to stay in poverty. You need to not advance so that you can live easy.
Well, I don't think people choose to be impoverished, though.
Not everybody chooses it, but you and I both know there are great.
Dude, hush your mouth. See, it's dudes like this that's the problem. Here you have a woman who clearly is more logical than you, stating the facts. He's saying, and see, what's even worse about it, I actually think that he knows better. But obviously he's on a radio platform. So what do you think he's doing? He's trying to understand. The majority isn't logical, common sense people in this world. The majority of people are sheep. And by sheep, they are the people who are in favor of degeneracy. And that's why if there wasn't order, most likely, the world will fall into anarchy. See, you know what's crazy? If police didn't exist, I wouldn't just start acting a fool. Do you think most people are like that? No. If structure and order and laws didn't exist, most people would start acting a donkey. And so he understands that, I believe. And ultimately, I don't think he wants them acting a donkey on him. So he had to advocate for some BS and try to oppose her because she's an easy target, because I think I've seen her already politically on like political platforms. And she's already unliked by a lot of people because she says the truth, which is going to be something that happens when you tell the truth, especially the truth that other people are living. But so he decided, no, I'm not going to ride with you on this because I don't want to end up where you are, even though it's the righteous thing to do. So he's talking about, so not everybody is trying to take advantage, or not everybody doesn't want to work. I forget what they said. Hold on. Because I want to make sure I'm being correct.
This high ass rent that everybody else is paying.
Yeah.
So you need to stay below this level. You need to stay in poverty. You need to not advance so that you can live easy.
Well, I don't think people choose to be impoverished.
I don't think people choose to be impoverished. If you decide to have 6 kids with a dude that you know ain't no good, who likes to just sit around the house with you while you're taking care of the kids, and the best thing he can do is shake up some juice, you're choosing to be impoverished. As well as, we have to rethink what impoverished is. Impoverished isn't what, because of the systems and the assistance that people get now, poverty isn't what it really should be. Now, by you being impoverished, you get incentivized and you get to eat snow crab and lamb chops and get your whole rent taken care of, which is the point that she made. So him talking about, I don't think people choose to be impoverished. Yes, they do. We review it all the time, and people will say that they'll either try to keep their income under a certain level, or they just won't work. Or they'll conceive a bunch of kids so that they can be taken care of. And so their kids are their retirement plan. He's just not being honest. And he knows that he sees this just like everybody else sees this. But sadly, we have so many weak men out here who won't just say what it is.
I don't think people choose to be impoverished though.
Not everybody chooses it, but you and I both know there are a great deal of folks who do. And I think that reform is needed because there are too many families who need these resources but can't get them because they make too much or because certain demographics in the household don't allow it or whatever. But you have people who are openly taking advantage of said system. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. There may be, I can't even say maybe. There are people that abuse that system, but.
So then why did you say what you said? He said, I don't think people choose to be impoverished. But then he says, I agree. There are people who abuse it by using the system that is saying that you are impoverished. And you're abusing it. So you're not only are you abusing it, which is definitely a choice and it's a malicious choice, but if you're making decisions and you know better, you're choosing it. If you can't take care of yourself and you know this, and then you decide to have kids, you choose it. If you have opportunities to save in life and you choose to take a trip, you choose it. You made a decision. You could choose, you could decide on what you wanted to do, or you could decide on what was absolutely necessary for you to get ahead and for you to be sustainable and stable. People make these choices all the time, and we see it. These are choices, sir, because they're adults and they get to vote. They get to make adult decisions. And we have yet to say, I really think that it needs to be where you sign off. When you make horrible decisions and then you want to come get saved, you need to sign off as you are no longer considered an adult. Because not everybody, listen, people can fall on hard times. But especially, I think it needs to be things in writing. Like you're on the assistance program right now. So you know that you are impoverished. When you come back in this office and you tell us, hey y'all, I'm pregnant. I just wanted to add that to my file so I can upgrade my benefits. It should be, well, what made you think you get to get pregnant when you're already on the program? So now if you want to continue getting benefits, we need you to sign right here. You're not an adult anymore because you should know better. And if you don't, you can just sign right here and just say that you don't know better and that you need extra oversight. So that means before you spend a dime, you got to run it through us. And I'm just building this while I'm flying it. And of course I'm being facetious, but I'm just saying that's not how adulting works, where you don't have to take responsibility for your decisions and your choices. But it seems like that's what he's advocating on. And he's acting like people aren't making this choice.
When we look at like percentages, I don't think that's a big enough percentage of us to say, okay, we're about to stop these people.
1,000% a big enough percentage. Again, if Section 8 can be passed down generationally, that's an issue. That's where I would start. It's not that I don't think taxes should go to.
Yeah, and if Section 8 can be used for decades by the person who didn't pass it down yet, that's a bad thing. That's insane. And he's going to say it's not an abuse and it's not a choice.
I don't know who need to hear this, but use the government to help you pay for your rent, okay? A lot of us are fucking struggling. I know we grew up in a time where food stamps
Hold on.
That in the third housing.
I wish you would stop.
Use that fucking shit. The government got a lot of motherfucking money. We are going through an inflation and we are in a fucking recession. Still get your.
All right. So let's look here for a second. Because that brother said it's not a choice. So let's look here. All right, audience. Let's play a game. What is it? You remember Blue's Clues? Can you find the clue? What is the choice that she decided to make that is absolutely a self-inflicted wound and is probably going to hinder her from being able to work a job, or at least work a job worth any salt? What is the choice? Can you spot it? Give you 10 seconds. Oh, I think we found it. She done got a heartbreak tattoo on her face. So she has a face tattoo. And she's sitting here advocating for people to utilize that government assistance. I wonder why you need to utilize it. Who in the world told you to get a face tattoo of a heartbreak? So now you got to carry that with you everywhere you go. And I think we can all know that that's going to absolutely hinder you. And that's going to give a lot of insight into the possible degeneracy, but for sure the impulsivity of how you live your life. You just gave people a context clue into the type of character traits that you exemplify, which, like I just said, the main one is probably going to be impulsivity and failure to think critically and long term.
And I don't know who need to hear this, but use the government to help you pay for your rent, okay? A lot of us are fucking struggling. I know we grew up in a time where food stamps and you was this, that, and the third. Housing and census mission was just use that fucking shit. The government got a lot of motherfucking money. We are going through an inflation and we are in a fucking recession. Still get your money. Don't get lazy. Don't get caught up in the laziness of it. But utilize the fucking help. If you think I'm traveling the world and shit and I didn't apply for fucking food stamps before I left because income gonna be at zero, you're crazy as fuck. I don't give a fuck how much I made in the past years. I don't care about none of that.
She traveling the world and she's using government assistance because her income's going to be at zero. So she's choosing to travel the world and leave her jobs, allegedly, because she just wants to travel. And she knows that once her income hits zero, because she chooses to travel, then she's qualified for government assistance. So she goes ahead and gets it.
Shit, you need to utilize it. Think smart. Take advantage of the government. Take advantage of the benefits that's to come, okay? A lot of people is out here flexing like they got it and they don't fucking got it, okay? A lot of people is pretending. A lot of people is acting. A lot of people is very comfortable with not having shit. A lot of people is very comfortable with spending their last and spending paycheck to paycheck, living paycheck to paycheck. If you can get some help, get some fucking help. There are a lot of housing programs, a lot of housing authority programs. Check with your locals. They got the shit. They got the information. They're not just going to give you the information out the blue. They're just not going to do it. You have to do the research. All right?
People got all this time to travel, to get their face tatted, to be on TikTok right now, outside somewhere. But yet, they're unwilling to do what it takes. And what it takes might mean, you clearly have a lot of time. If one job doesn't cut it, get two, get three. But we do the easy thing. And before we put in an extra job application, we'll put in an application for government assistance. It's the easy thing and it's free. And see, that's why I'm glad. And I'm glad what that other woman who was on the radio show was saying. I'm glad that these things are being restricted and regulated because they haven't been regulated for a long time. So just take it in stride. Just understand you've been abusing it. See, there's a lot of young people now who want to be able to abuse it the way people were doing it in prior generations. And what they're finding out is they're not going to be able to do that. And they're actually going to have to be responsible. But who is responsible for the reason that it's being regulated the way that it is? It's the people who took advantage of it in those other previous generations. And so you should really be mad at them because they didn't use it ethically. And so now that's interfering with a lot of people who the framework and the blueprint has pretty much been passed down from generation to generation. At this point, it's written in scribes somewhere as far as how to exploit this system. And so the next person got the scribe and they were ready to follow through with the family lineage. And now what they're understanding is that the rules are being shaken up and we just entered the multiverse. And so everything's up in the air. And so now it's going to come down to you. You're not going to have a scribe of how to take advantage of the system. It looks like you're going to have to get some new information and you're going to have to learn how to just be a productive citizen and how to try your very best while at the same time not making your life harder and sabotaging yourself by making dumb decisions that anybody with two eyes and a brain could see is not smart, i.e. having children out of wedlock that you can't take care of.
If you are getting government assistance,
when you can't even take care of yourself.
stop abusing it. PSA before I get into this. I do get government assistance. I have food stamps and WIC, and I have a low-income housing apartment. Let me tell you something, though.
Oh.
I do not abuse it. I have 4 children that I take care of. I make money. I don't care how I get it. I make sure I get it. My kids have everything they need, and you'll never see them going without. This girl I used to be friends with texted me a couple days ago. I cut her off straight away after she done told me what she was doing. She gets low-income housing. She lives right where I live. She's renting out her baby's rooms. She got everybody and their mother living up in her crib. And where are her kids? With her sister through the week.
Like, and you don't got a job? You got a babysitter, but you don't got a job? Then she went on to tell me about how she was with 3 people in the same month, and 2 of those people were trying to actively get her pregnant. You have 3 kids that you don't even take care of. You have no ambition for. You not even working. You just out here slumming it with all these people in your crib. And you're telling me that you're trying to have another child in this economy? I never cut somebody off so fucking quick. I cussed her out. I talked mad bad to her because, baby, that's nasty. That's just sickening to me. There's no reason for that. None. And if you're wondering why people who get assistance got a bad name, it's people like that. If that's your friends, if that's your family, if you know somebody like that, cut them off. Report them to the complexes. Stop giving people a space to be lazy and bums. There are real people out here who need those spaces, who need this assistance. Nasty. If you are getting government...
You know, I am an advocate of having perspective, keeping perspective. And I feel like that's great for your mental health. And I feel like that's just great spiritually. But this is where perspective can get dangerous. And here's what I mean. Listen, I understand that whoever your friend is, which the fact that she's your friend is very telling, because I know you're trying to remove yourself from it, but you're not that far off. I mean, she's extra egregious. So I guess you're the saint when it comes to your friend group because your friend group is just that bad. But, ma'am, you don't meet standards either. And we just going to call spade a spade because she's trying to sit here and talk about her friend and tell all her friends' business, which I'm grateful that she did because a lot of these things don't get said. And like we just said, didn't that brother say ain't nobody abusing it? She just said her friend is got 3 dudes that she's dealing with that she's actively trying to get pregnant. Why do you think she's actively trying to get pregnant? Because she allegedly lost her kids. So now, without those kids, she gets no help. So she has to get another one. But he said people aren't choosing to be in poverty. Really, dude? But you made choices too, man. The most glaring and obvious one is the way you've pierced up your face. Because that's going to make it hard to get jobs, just like Face Tattoo Girl. As well as you mentioned that you have 4 kids. We need to explain that. Because you're saying you're not abusing the system either, but yet you're getting you have the trio. She said she got the food stamps. She got the housing. You're using it all too. And you got 4 kids and obviously you're single. We need to unpack that because that seems like the perfect use case as well. I get your friend is being more malicious with it, but again, these are choices. We really have a cognitive dissonance when it comes to really thinking through what it takes to go about conceiving children. This is a 9-month process. And then when you have the kid, you get the direct impact. The kid is crying. You see how much it takes from you. You have to go through all the things like that. I'm sure you were already on assistance. So remember, this is a very long process. This isn't quick. This isn't just something where you just make a mistake and then they pop out the next day. You have a lot of time to think. You have a lot of time to evaluate your decisions. And ultimately, you get the experience to understand what it's like to then have that new responsibility be taken on and what it's like logistically in your life. You have 4 kids. So you did that 4 times. I could see from a dude. I mean, he just shoots up the club and then he moves on with his life. He gonna feel it later for a long time. Possibly if you can pin it to him. But you directly feel it. And you have to directly deal with it. So that is why I really feel like there's no excuse for you to be like you're on all these programs, but you have 4 kids. How did we get there? How did this happen? Why did this happen? Why did you allow this to happen? And then why do you still have a friend group of people who exhibit egregious behavior and ultimately horrendous character, and you're saying that this is still your friend. It's clearly your friend enough to where you can get the updated information of how she's moving, and you still keep this type of person around you and possibly even around your kids. That's a decision. Who you choose to have around you is a decision. And that's going to be one of the most important decisions that you make in your life. You think just because she's moving in a certain way that's not going to rub off on you in certain ways? We're social creatures. And any successful person will tell you that the friends that you spend the most time with is going to be one of the most important decisions, not only in your life, but in your future, for your future. And so you need to be addressed as well, man. It's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black, if you ask me.
When you live off the government, right? What that mean? You broke. Because if it wasn't for the government, you wouldn't have a place to live, and your ass probably wouldn't be able to eat. So for y'all to say broke men can't date women because they live in check to check, you could tell something wrong with y'all ass. When a woman broke, it's okay. A man not broke because he can't buy you what you want. A man not broke because he can't pay his bills and your bills too. At least he work, and he not sitting home on his ass living off the government. Y'all fairly realize, right? Living off the government mean you broke. Because you ain't getting off your ass and trying to make a living on your own. Because soon as the government shut the fuck down or cut Section 8 or government assistance, what the fuck is you gonna do? What the fuck is half of you women gonna do? Because it's a lot of motherfucking women on Section 8 and getting government assistance. Kudos to the men that try to work. But they not broke because you want them to be broke because they ain't got nothing for your begging bum ass. Because y'all got this psycho ass female that been on social media for the last week talking about broke men should not date women. You could tell she delusional because it's more broke ass women than it is broke ass men. When a man make money, he gotta share it with your bum bagging ass. When a woman make money, she ain't gotta share her money with a man. She don't need a man. A man feel bad when they not doing for his woman, but a woman don't feel bad when she don't get off her lazy fucking ass. This female that y'all been listening to on TikTok for the last week, she live with 4 fucking cats. What one of her cats is she dating? She fucking bipolar, and she delusional.
You know, I'm going to be honest. He really didn't tell a lie in that. But again, remember what I said at the beginning? When that woman was standing on business? When you tell the hard truth, people are going to hate you. People might even hate me for agreeing when he's telling the truth. Because look at the mindset and the philosophy. It's just like the woman we just watched who was airing out her friend's dirty laundry as if she doesn't have her own skeletons that need to be addressed right now. Ma'am, you're on the program. You shouldn't have time to be coming on here gossiping about anybody else. If you have any extra time, you need to be thinking about how you get off Section 8 and how you get off government assistance. But it's not an emergency because it's expected. And we don't even view it for what it is anymore, which is, ma'am, you're broke. And just like this dude just said, if a dude was broke and on TikTok and all this type of stuff, which, funny enough, like he mentioned in some of his examples, what people are considering broke or what they try to shame and guilt men into feeling like as far as broke is really just them having boundaries and them having standards as far as being responsible. No, I'm not going on a trip with you. No, I'm not paying your rent. Are you crazy? No, we're not going out to Roof Chris on the first date. And then all of a sudden you're broke. But yet we see all these ladies who are on assistance. And by the way, if you need a shelter to get you by, which we review a lot, and there's a lot of women in shelters, you don't see a lot of men because they're typically not accessible to men. That's why they're called women's shelters. You all have all these resources available to you if you're broke, but you don't look at it like you're broke. You are broke. And it was funny. I reviewed a video where it was about women losing their job, or just people in general losing their job. I think it was only women in that video though. And basically, it was this woman working in a department store that lost her job, but she was working in one of those nice ones, like think of like Nordstrom or something. And she obviously is a department store worker, but she's like, I love this job because I'm looking for my rich husband. Let a dude be working in Foot Locker talking about he's looking for a bad B, or he's looking for a boss B. They'll laugh right in his face. But yet we haven't correlated that there is no difference, because last time I checked, everything is equal now, right? No, it's not logistically, and it's not truly, but apparently everything is equal and we're all the same and there's no differences. But yet we can clearly see differences in the way that the world is set up still to this day, and even in some of the mindsets that we have in regards to the dynamics between genders. So I find that amazing. Like I said, he just told the truth, and a lot of people not gonna like that, but it is the truth. So I'm gonna validate it. But we'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video, hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I'm a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And hype was designed for small channels, so that's why we get more points. But if you run across a video and you don't see the hype button, then it's probably been over 7 days. And hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So that's why. So typically best practice is, if you want to hype, then just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot, if that's what you want to do on a newer video. As well as if you want to become a member, join buttons on the video. And what becoming a member of the DXU family will come with is you would get badges next to your comments. So people would see that you are a member whenever you leave a comment, as well as you would get access to early content, and you would get access to exclusive content that is not available to everyone else on YouTube. So again, if you want to become a member, join buttons on the video. But until then, I'll see you all in the next video.